So I'm going to ask a question. Let me preface it by just saying my position. I fully believe in global warming. I would love to see us put a price on carbon any way we can do it. If we have to do it through cap and trade, so be it. But I would personally prefer, just for the simplicity, is a direct carbon tax. And so I think that addresses a lot of the complexity issues that kept coming up. Well, it's complex, it's hard to see how we manage this aspect. I also think that cap and trade doesn't incentivize individuals to take any steps to reduce, on a local level, a house level, their consumption of energy. It's very difficult to assign value to those distributed projects in the cap and trade market. So, you're losing 80% of the total global market because it's difficult to price them in that scheme. So I know that politically it's difficult to sell it. That's always the excuse. You cannot say that as an response to my question, because I think it could be sold, speaking as somebody who's politically conservative, in terms of there are tax and dividend schemes. You can address the problems in Southeast power generation just through a dividend program to the Southeast. You can address all the work that you guys have engaged in would still have value, because you would have a revenue pool to pay people for sequestration of carbon as well. So just a quick question, what do you think on that?
You've raised good points. Let me first say I will go on with your limitations that we will pretend like we can pass big taxes in this country these days. But even assuming that, the problem with the tax is the economists don't really know where the trigger point is. If we actually had a little experiment in a carbon tax when we had the run-up of gasoline prices to over $4, most economists were telling us that if we almost double the price of gas, we would see this major shift in driving patterns and in the type of cars that were purchased. Little bit of impact. Maybe if it lasted forever, we'd have had more. But the initial results was something the economists say, that gasoline and energy is largely inelastic. So simply raising the price may not make a difference, particularly in countries like America, that we have all sorts of money that we can spend on, $5 coffees. Why can't we spend, $10 on gas and keep driving? And the problem with this is we can't get it wrong. If we've got to reduce the total amount, and if we don't get the right number because the economists got it wrong, then we're screwed. And the other thing I would say is that it is hard to I'll tell you what, I'll stop there. That'll be a long answer to do the next.